Welcome to Tubi Tuesday. I'm Patrick from Have Cheetah Will View. Uh, so I decided to do something a little bit different for my Tubi episode. I thought I'd talk about a TV show that they're showing on there from 1989 called A Man Called Hawk, which starred Avery Brooks and Moses Gunn. A Man Called Hawk was a spinoff from an earlier series called Spenser for Hire, which both with the characters created by Robert B. Parker. Robert B. Parker created Spenser and Hawk, who lived in Boston, and Spenser solved cases, and Hawk provided intel and backup. And so this was a spinoff of Spenser. Spenser had ran for 3 years on ABC, and then it ended in '88. And people love the character of Hawk. Actually, he's the best character, honestly, and arguably, that Spenser created. I know a lot of people like Spenser or Jesse Stone, but Hawk was probably the most badass character he created. And then Avery Brooks brought him to life like nobody else. Nobody else. So in 1989, ABC decided to do a spinoff, and they moved Hawk to Washington D.C. And we're to you in the first episode here called The Master's Mirror. We find out that's where Hawk originated from. And we also find out that while Hawk was known as a enforcer and a fixer in Boston, we did not know that he actually served in intelligence and also the military. So this is aspects of his character that have never really been touched on, even in the books. You never truly understand or where Hawk has come from. So they made him into more from an anti-hero to more of a, coming up to Washington, D.C., more of a helper of people. But he was definitely an anti-hero in Spenser for Hire. So I watched the series when it came on. I watched all Spenser. Spenser was one of my favorite series to watch. Robert Urich and Avery Brooks had awesome chemistry, especially the first 2 seasons. The third season was definitely the weakest one in terms of Hawk and his character and his development. So I was really happy back when this came out in 1989. It aired on Saturday nights at 8 p.m., right before The Love Boat in Fantasy Island, I believe. I believe that's about right. Which was a really unusual place for the show. So the episode that we're going to talk about a little bit is called The Master's Mirror. It was the first episode of the series, and it establishes Hawk being back in Washington, D.C. Now, I'm not sure if it's because of rights or whatnot, but Robert Urich never came on the show. They never mentioned Spenser. He mentioned Spenser only as in somebody I know or somebody who's close to me, but they never mentioned Spenser or Susan Silverman or anybody from the TV series. So Hawk comes back, and he walks back into a mess as a former comrade of him that he mentored and he taught, and they worked as a 2-man team in the military. He's been out too long, and he is causing a lot of damage. And the intelligence agency could be the CIA or could be Defense Service. It's not really established. It's up to you to figure it out. Probably CIA. And they want to bring him in. They know he's really dangerous. And unfortunately, they tried with heavy hands, and that doesn't work. And so they asked the colonel who leads who knows tracks, asked Hawk to bring him in. He wants to help him, and yeah, that would entail some hospital time, because he's blurred the line between right and wrong, black and white, whereas everything's just all one color, 2 tracks. So Hawk tracks him down, and they talk, and Hawk really, you can see he really likes his student. He really wants to help him out. He wants to actually help him get out until he finds out the truth. that Trax has gone rogue. He's gone off the reservation. So now the colonel asks Hawk to help bring him in, not to hurt him, because Hawk is really pissed off that an attempt was made at both their lives, and the colonel has made it perfectly clear that it's not his style. And Hawk's he wants to believe him, but he doesn't believe him. He's been around way too long to trust anybody like the colonel. But he goes and talks to Traxton's daughter, and tells her that, hey, we need to get him in or get him out, one or the other. We need to help him. And so while this is happening, the subplot in the episode shows him hooking up with a former teacher who he's close to, who's mentoring a young football player. And the young football player has star potential written all over him, but he's critically injured in an accident, and so Hawk has to help him see that there's more outside of life other than football. And there's, so he lends his wisdom to help this young man keep on the straight and narrow. The end of the episode shows Hawk and Trax meeting for one last time, and Hawk knows that his friend is far gone. He knows he can't be helped. He's not going to do anything about it, though. He's going to, when Traxton draws on him, he turns his back on him, and he walks away. He's exposing his back. But he knows that when Trax pulls the trigger or cocks the hammer, he knows for sure that his friend is gone. So he manages to defend himself, but in the last act of love, he sends Trax's daughter to call an ambulance, and then he walks away. After Trax tells him, I don't want to go in because you and I both know what's going to happen to me. And so Hawk helps him out, and he gives him that escape that he's looking for. This is a great show. This is a strong first episode. Establishes Moses Gunn as old man, so he's probably been Hawk's mentor from when he was young man. Avery Brooks, this is wow. I mean, he's basically, this is just an awesome character, and he's born to play it. And listening to the dialogue, it reminds me of Spenser for Hire, in the sense that I truly wonder how much Avery Brooks improvised his lines. There's nobody writing lines like this. Nobody's writing a script with the kind of dialogue that Avery Brooks is giving Hawk. There's just no way. It's too good. It's really good. You just get the sense that this is all Avery Brooks, and this is who Avery Brooks is. Benjamin Sisko, his other well-known role, it has some elements of Hawk to him. When he gets angry or gets righteously furious, a little bit, but Hawk is just an incredible character. Unfortunately, this show did not last that long. It lasted 13 episodes before ABC hooked it, and I was looking at the Nielsen numbers for it. If this show aired today with those numbers that it drew then, it would be a major hit. It drew almost 20 million people. At its peak, it drew 17.6 to by the end of it, it was like maybe 11 or 12. But I think the reason why that is because it aired on Saturday night. Now, Friday and Saturday nights are basically, even back to 1989, they were wastelands for network TV. Nobody watches TV on Friday and Saturday nights like it used to. They're the two most weakest nights for network TV, which is why you see a lot of repeats on Saturdays, and not very much on Fridays. So even back then, it was still a struggle, and it's worse today. But A Man Called Hawk, if it aired today with the ratings it got, it would be considered a major hit. I forgot how much I've missed this show. I watched it all, but it's been since 1989. So when I saw it on Tubi for free, I said I got to go ahead and cover this. So this is an outstanding first episode. It establishes all the characters. It shows Hawk. The only thing I did not like about the episode, this is the only part, my only qualm about it, was they dismissed Boston like out of hand. Like, that's not home, this is home, Washington D.C. That's the only part I didn't agree with, because Hawk had plenty of chances in the books and whatnot. He could have left a long time ago for Washington, D.C. He didn't need the money. It wasn't like he was sitting there in Boston, doing job to job. Hawk is very much a self-made man, and he could have left at any time. So the fact that he didn't, and he establishes like that's out of hand, it's like I was there but really didn't like it. That's the only part I did not agree with the first episode with. But otherwise, the writing's on point, the characters are on point. This is a violent show, so there is some gunplay here. The acting, like I said, the acting's amazing. If you haven't seen Avery Brooks outside of Deep Space Nine, Star Trek's Deep Space Nine, this is a great introduction to him. I recommend this. I recommend the first 2 seasons of Spenser for Hire and this show, A Man Called Hawk. Not so much for the 3rd season of Spenser, because that was the weakest. That was his weakest performance, and it wasn't his fault. They just didn't use the character very much or wisely. Maybe one of the reasons why they stumbled in the 3rd season. Anyway, so that's Tubi Tuesday. I think I'm gonna highly recommend it. I'm gonna see if they have a bumper here. I'll put it on here. If not, I'll put the link down there so you can go in and check it out. Yeah, if you like some classic TV, highly recommend this. I don't know if this has a physical release yet. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Warner Brothers did this or not. If they did, they might have it on the Warner Brothers archives. If they don't, they should. But that's it for Spenser for A Man Called Hawk, the first episode. I'll bring you the next episode next week. As long as they have it up on the streamer, I will do my best to cover it for my Tubi Tuesday. All right, thanks so much. And if you're new to the channel, please leave please hit the sub button, hit the notification bell, and please leave a comment below. Comment below and the like button will really help the channel out a lot. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you back in DC next week. Peace.